Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, where we dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting. Today, we're focusing on a classic piece of American currency, the 1958 Jefferson nickel. If you've got one of these in your collection, or maybe just lying around, stick around because you might be holding on to more than just pocket change. First, let's talk history. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. This 5-cent coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, on the reverse. The 1958 nickel is part of this long-running series and carries with it over 80 years of American history. Now, let's look closer at the 1958 nickel itself. These coins were minted in the Philadelphia and Denver, and you can tell them apart by the presence, or absence, of a mint mark. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while Denver coins have a small d located to the right of Monticello on the reverse side. In terms of metal content, these nickels are composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The weight is 5 grams, and they have a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. So, what's the 1958 nickel worth today? Well, the value can vary depending on its condition and where it was minted. Let's break it down. Most 1958 nickels found in circulation are worth about 10,000 to 15,000 cents. Not a huge amount, but definitely more than face value. If you have an uncirculated 1958 nickel, things get a bit more interesting. These can range anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 depending on the coin's grade. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a proof version, these were only minted in Philadelphia and are worth significantly more, sometimes reaching up to $20,000 or more depending on their condition. Let's talk about rarity. The 1958 nickel isn't considered a rare coin, but there are a few interesting details. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 17 million nickels that year, while the Denver Mint cranked out over 168 million. Because of these high mintage numbers, most 1958 nickels aren't especially valuable unless they're in exceptional condition or have some kind of error. Speaking of errors, certain 1958 nickels with minting mistakes can be worth much more. Keep an eye out for coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubling errors, as these can fetch higher prices from collectors. Finally, its market value is $54,000. If you're looking to add a 1958 nickel to your collection, here are a few tips. Always aim for the highest grade you can find. Coins with fewer scratches, clear details, and a nice luster will always be worth more. As we mentioned earlier, error coins can be particularly valuable, so examine your nickel closely. To maintain its value, store your nickel in a protective case or holder to avoid wear and tear. And there you have it, a quick look at the 1958 Jefferson nickel. While it might not make you rich overnight, it's a fascinating piece of history that's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, every coin has its story and its place in your collection. Today, we're diving into a piece of American history that you might just find hiding in your pocket change, the United States 1981 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about the coins in your pocket, this video will give you the full rundown on the 1981 nickel, its history, design, and, of course, its value in today's market. So, let's get started. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The coin features an image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, or front side. This iconic portrait was designed by Felix Schlag, who won a national competition to redesign the nickel. On the reverse, you'll see Jefferson's beloved home, Monticello. This design has remained largely unchanged since its introduction, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. But what makes the 1981 Jefferson nickel particularly interesting? The 1981 coin was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with slight adjustments in coin production techniques and materials. These changes were subtle, but they can make a big difference in the coin's condition and, ultimately, its value. Before we talk value, it's important to know about mint marks and how they impact a coin's worth. The 1981 nickel was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The majority of these nickels were made in Philadelphia and Denver for general circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, which are specially made for collectors. Now, you might be wondering, does the mint mark affect the value? Absolutely. Proof coins from San Francisco, for instance, are usually more valuable than their regular counterparts, especially if they're in pristine condition. So, what is a 1981 Jefferson nickel worth today? Let's break it down. If your 1981 nickel has been in circulation and shows signs of wear, its value is typically around 5 cents. However, in high-end circulated condition, it might fetch around 10,000 to 20,000 cents. If you've got a 1981 nickel that's in uncirculated condition, meaning it has no signs of wear and looks nearly as fresh as the day it was minted, it could be worth more. These coins can range in value from $1,000 to $2,000 depending on their quality. Proof nickels from 1981, especially those with deep cameo contrasts, can be worth significantly more. These coins are made with a special minting process that gives them a mirror-like finish and sharp details. A 1981 S-proof nickel in excellent condition can be valued at around $1,000 to $5,000, but some of the highest grades can go for $10,000 or more. One thing to keep in mind is that the value of coins can fluctuate based on the current market and demand. So, it's always a good idea to keep an eye on recent sales if you're thinking of buying or selling. Now, let's talk about something that really gets collectors excited: rare varieties and errors. While the 1981 nickel doesn't have any famous varieties, errors like misstrikes or off-center coins can dramatically increase its value. Some error coins from this period have sold for $10,000 or more, depending on the rarity and condition of the error. So, it's definitely worth checking your 1981 nickels closely for any unusual features. To sum it up, the 1981 Jefferson nickel make you rich, but it's a fascinating piece of American history that's definitely worth keeping an eye out for. Finally, its market value is $54,000. Whether you have a circulated coin, a shiny uncirculated piece, or even a rare proof or error, these nickels tell a story and hold value beyond just their face value. Today, we're talking about a coin you might have in your pocket right now, the United States of America 5-cent coin from 1991. Commonly known as the nickel, this coin might seem ordinary, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Could it be worth more than just 5 cents? Let's find out. Let's start with a little history. The 1991 nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, which began in 1938. The design we see on this coin was created by Felix Schlag, who won a design competition to commemorate Thomas Jefferson. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll see a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. He's looking to the left, with a thoughtful expression that captures his role as a key figure in American history. Flip the coin over, and you'll see Jefferson's beloved home, Monticello. This neoclassical mansion is an iconic part of American architecture and has been featured on the nickel for decades. The details of Monticello on the coin are quite impressive, especially considering the small space they're etched into. Now, let's talk about the minting of the 1991 nickel. These coins were produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced coins for general circulation, while the San Francisco Mint focused on creating proof coins for collectors. Philadelphia struck about 785 million of these nickels, while Denver produced around 590 million. With such high production numbers, the 1991 nickel isn't considered rare. However, coins in mint condition or those with certain features can still be of interest to collectors. So, what's the value of a 1991 nickel today? Finally, its market value is $52,000. For most circulated 1991 nickels, the value is typically around face value, just 5 cents. However, if you have a 1991 nickel in uncirculated condition, it could be worth more, usually between $10,000 and $15,000. While that might not sound like much, it's still more than its face value. but the real treasure lies in the proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. These coins were made with extra care, resulting in a mirror-like finish that's highly sought after by collectors. A 1991 S-proof nickel in pristine condition could be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. Now, let's talk about something that could really increase the value of your 1991 nickel: minting errors. Coins with errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or other imperfections, can be worth significantly more. In fact, some error nickels have sold for hundreds of dollars. So, it's always worth taking a closer look at your coins, and there you have it. While the 1991 United States 5-cent coin might not make you rich, it's still a fascinating piece of history and a fun addition to any collection. Whether you're new to collecting or a seasoned pro, there's always something new to discover in the world of coins. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of US coinage, and we've got a real treat for you. We're going to explore the value and history of the 1975 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel. Could this coin in your collection be worth more than just 5 cents? Let's find out. First, let's take a quick look at the history and design of the 1975 Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, designed by Felix Schlag. The obverse side features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. On the reverse, you'll find a depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello. Now, 1975 wasn't an especially notable year for nickels in terms of design changes, but it was part of the larger series that's beloved by collectors for its consistent design and historical significance. When it comes to assessing the value of your 1975 nickel, the first thing you should check is the mint mark. In 1975, these nickels were struck at two different mints: Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, and Denver, denoted by a small d on the reverse side. Philadelphia minted a staggering 408 million nickels, while Denver produced about 401 million. With these high mintages, most 1975 nickels are considered common in circulated condition. However, certain factors can make your coin more valuable. The condition or grade of your 1975 Jefferson nickel is crucial in determining its value. Coins in lower grades, like good, G4, or very fine, VF20, are typically only worth their face value, 5 cents. However, if your nickel is in uncirculated condition, you might be looking at a coin worth more. Coins graded as mint state, MS, especially those in higher grades like MS65 or MS66, can fetch prices between $5 to $20,000. The highest graded coins, with exceptional luster and sharp details, have been known to sell for even more, sometimes upwards of $10,000. One aspect that can significantly increase the value of a 1975 nickel is if it has an error or variety. Although there are no widely recognized major varieties for the 1975 Jefferson nickel, always keep an eye out for any minting errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or repunched mint marks. These rare error coins can attract collectors and command premium prices. Despite the high mintages, the market demand plays a significant role in the value of a 1975 nickel. Collectors might be particularly interested in full steps nickels. These are coins where the steps of Monticello on the reverse are fully visible, which is often hard to find due to wear and weak strikes. Full steps nickels in high grade can be very desirable and valuable. Finally, its market value is $49,000. So, what's the bottom line? While the majority of 1975 Jefferson nickels in circulation are worth just 5 cents, those in exceptional condition or with unique errors can be worth significantly more. If you have one of these coins, it might be worth taking a closer look. Who knows, you might have a hidden treasure in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into the world of US coins to explore the value and history of the 1979 United States of America 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel. If you've got one of these coins lying around, you might be wondering if it's worth more than just a nickel. Stick around to find out. First, let's talk a little bit about the history and design of the 1979 Jefferson nickel. This coin is part of the Jefferson nickel series, which began in 1938. The obverse, or front, features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. On the reverse, you'll see a depiction of Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. This design has been a staple of U.S. coinage for decades, making it one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Now, let's dive into the minting details. In 1979, the Jefferson nickel was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. The coins from Philadelphia and Denver were intended for circulation, while those from San Francisco were produced as proof coins, meant for collectors. The total mintage for the 1979 Jefferson nickel was over 1 billion coins, with the majority coming from Philadelphia and Denver. So, what's the value of a 1979 nickel today? For most circulated 1979 nickels, their value is still around face value, just 5 cents. However, there are certain factors that can increase the value of this coin. Coins in uncirculated condition, with no wear and a sharp strike, can fetch a bit more, typically ranging from 10,000 to 50,000 cents. But if you're lucky enough to have a proof version from the San Francisco Mint, those can be worth around $1,000 to $2,000 depending on their condition. Now, let's talk about what really gets collectors excited: error coins. If you happen to find a 1979 Jefferson nickel with a minting error, it could be worth significantly more. Finally, its market value is $47,000. Common errors include off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. These error coins can sell for anywhere from a few dollars to over $10,000, depending on the type and severity of the error. So, while most 1979 Jefferson nickels are worth more than face value, there are definitely some that could be worth a lot more if they're in great condition or have an interesting error. If you have one, it might be worth taking a closer look. Today, we're focusing on a small but mighty piece of American currency, the United States of America 5-cent coin from 1994. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just stumbled upon one of these nickels in your change, you might be wondering, is this coin worth more than just 5 cents? Let's find out. Before we get into the value, let's take a quick look at the history of this coin. The 1994 U.S. 5-cent coin, commonly known as a nickel, features the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side. The design was created by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose work has been featured on the nickel since 1938. On the reverse side, you'll find Jefferson's home, Monticello, a symbol of American heritage. In 1994, the U.S. Mint produced this coin in 3 locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The Philadelphia and Denver nickels were produced in massive quantities for circulation, while the San Francisco version was primarily struck for proof sets. The condition and rarity of your 1994 nickel largely depend on where it was minted and how well it's been preserved over the years. Now, let's talk value. If you have a regular 1994 nickel from Philadelphia or Denver in circulated condition, it's typically worth just its face value, 5 cents. However, if your coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost brand new with no wear and tear, it could be worth a little more, maybe around 25,000 to 50,000 cents to the right buyer. Proof coins from San Francisco are a different story. These coins were made with extra care and have a mirror-like finish. If you have a 1994 S-proof nickel, it could be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 depending on its condition. But here's where things get really interesting: error coins. If your 1994 nickel has any kind of minting error, like a double strike, off-center strike, or a planchet flaw, it could be worth significantly more. Some error nickels from 1994 have sold for hundreds of dollars at auction. So, if you have a 1994 nickel with any unusual features, you might be holding on to a small treasure. So, what should you do if you think you've got a valuable 1994 nickel? Finally, its market value is $43,000. First, make sure to get it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. This will give you a better idea of its true value. Then, consider selling it through a reputable auction house, coin dealer, or online marketplace. Remember, the value of a coin can fluctuate based on demand, so it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the market if you're looking to sell. Today, we're taking a closer look at a classic piece of American history, the United States of America 5 cents from 1974, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel. Is this coin worth more than just 5 cents? Let's find out. First, let's talk a little bit about the history and design of the 1974 Jefferson nickel. This coin is part of a series that has been in continuous production since 1938, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The obverse, or front of the coin, features a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. On the reverse side, we have Jefferson's iconic home, Monticello, a symbol of American heritage. 1974 was a relatively uneventful year in the series, but it was still an important time in American history. The economy was dealing with inflation, and the U.S. was adjusting to the post-Vietnam era. These factors make coins from this period interesting to collectors who love a bit of history with their coins. Now, let's talk numbers. The U.S. Mint produced over 490 million Jefferson nickels in 1974. These were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were intended for circulation, while the San Francisco coins were primarily proof coins, meaning they were struck with a higher level of detail for collectors. It's also worth noting that 1974 doesn't have any major errors or variations that would make these coins particularly rare. However, any coin can be unique based on its condition, so let's talk about that next. When it comes to the value of your 1974 nickel, condition is key. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. The vast majority of 1974 nickels you'll come across are in circulated condition, typically grading anywhere from good, G4, to extremely fine, XF 40. A typical circulated 1974 nickel might only be worth its face value, 5 cents. However, if you've got one in an uncirculated condition, especially in grades like MS 65 or higher, you might be looking at a coin worth a few dollars. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint can be worth more, especially if they're still in their original packaging and have been well preserved. So, what's the market like for these coins? Well, a typical 1974 nickel in average circulated condition is, as expected, only worth face value. However, collectors might pay around 25 cents to $1 for a high-grade example. Proof versions can fetch between $1 to $5 depending on their condition. If you're lucky enough to have one in perfect MS 70 condition, which is quite rare, it could be worth significantly more, sometimes upwards of $2,000 to $5,000. But beyond just market value, the 1974 Jefferson nickel holds a special place in the hearts of collectors for its connection to American history and its enduring design. If you're thinking about adding a 1974 nickel to your collection, here are a few tips. First, look for coins with minimal wear, clear details, and no major scratches or blemishes. If you're buying a proof coin, make sure it comes with its original government packaging to ensure authenticity and maximum value. Finally, its market value is $51,000. And as always, consider getting your coin graded by a professional service if you think it's in top condition. That wraps up our look at the 1974 United States 5-cent coin. Today, we're diving into the world of the 1962 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel. Could this small piece of history hold a big surprise in value? Let's find out. First, a little history. The 1962 Jefferson nickel is part of a long-running series that started in 1938 and continues to this day. The obverse features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. In 1962, over 97 million of these nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and an additional 63 million at the Denver Mint. While this makes them relatively common, condition and rarity variations could mean your nickel is worth more than just 5 cents. To determine the value of your 1962 nickel, the first thing to check is the mint mark. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver bear a small D on the reverse, to the right of Monticello. Generally, nickels from either mint are similar in value, but certain conditions can make a difference. The condition of the coin plays a crucial role. A 1962 nickel that's been heavily circulated and shows signs of wear is typically only worth its face value. However, if you have an uncirculated coin, or even better, one graded as mint state by a professional service, you could be looking at a value of thousands of dollars, sometimes more. Now, let's talk about something that really gets collectors excited: errors and varieties. Error coins can be significantly more valuable than standard issues. For instance, a misaligned die or a double strike can make your 1962 nickel worth much more. These errors can sometimes fetch prices ranging from $50 to even a few $100s, depending on the rarity and demand. And that's not all. There are also rare varieties, like coins with repunched mint marks, that can increase the value. If you suspect your coin might be special, it could be worth getting it professionally valuable. So, what's the market value for a typical 1962 Jefferson nickel? For coins in average circulated condition, you're looking at around 10,000 to 2,000,000 cents. Uncirculated coins, depending on their grade, can range from $1,000 to $10,000. But remember, those rare errors and varieties could make your nickel much more valuable. Finally, its market value is $49,000. And if you're lucky enough to have a high-grade or error coin, the auction market is where you could see the real potential. Some coins have fetched significant sums in auctions, especially if they have unique features. In the world of coin collecting, even the most common-looking coins can hold hidden treasures. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, it's always worth taking a closer look at your change. Who knows? That 1962 Jefferson nickel in your collection might just surprise you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insights into the fascinating world of coins and currency. Happy collecting!